Hi guys. For our last lesson, we are going to be reading about the full lifespan of a bean plant. So I encourage you guys to continue tracking your bean plants, either with your journal or with your graph, and continue harvesting water to water your bean plant. If you keep it alive long enough, you'll get some beans to eat. So this book is called Grow With Me, Bean. Beans are a type of legume. Legumes are plants with pods. People grow many kinds of beans to eat. They grow green beans, pinto beans, kidney beans, and more. Soybeans are a related bean. Farmers use a lot of soybeans in livestock feed. Most beans are annual plants. That means they live for a year or less. Most beans grow best in warm weather. All beans need soil, water, and lots of sunlight too. Beans are flowering plants that produce pods. Seeds are inside the pods. Bean pods are flat and straight or curved and circular. Most pods are green, yellow, or even purple. Bean seeds can be many colors, like green, red, or black. Some are speckled. Snap beans, like green beans, have pods that are soft enough to eat. Shell beans, like lima beans, and dry beans, like kidney beans, have tough pods. People eat only the seeds inside these types of pods. Shell beans have soft seeds, and dry beans have hard seeds. A bean grows when a person plants the seed in the ground. For most beans, the temperature of the soil should be at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's about the temperature it would be on a cool fall day, so a little bit chilly. But the soil can be cooler for soybeans and fava beans. Rows of beans are planted in gardens or fields. Beans grow in large pots too. Seeds should be planted 1 to 1.5 inches deep. They need 8 hours of sunlight every day. So the beans that you guys are growing are they are a type of bean bush plant. So they grow really well in pots if you want to transplant it into a large pot. A bean seed is dry. Inside the seed is an embryo. The embryo is wrapped in a hard shell called a seed coat. Water softens the seed coat. Then the seed begins to germinate. The embryo bursts through the seed coat. The seed's root reaches down into the soil. It collects water for the plant. After 6 to 15 days, a stem and leaves push up through the ground. This new plant is called a seedling. At first, a seedling has just 2 round leaves. These are called seed leaves. They store food for the plant until it grows more leaves. The seed leaves fall off after a week or so. A bean's leaves are shaped like ovals or hearts. Nodes are the places where the leaves connect to the stem. Leaves use sunlight, air, and water to make food for the plant. A bean plant flowers 35 to 50 days after planting. Green bean flowers, that's what we have, are green beans. Green bean flowers are white, yellow, pink, or purple. So you can expect any of those colors from your bean plant. Scarlet runner beans have red and pink flowers. The male part of a flower, called the stamen, sheds pollen. The pollen falls onto the female part of the flower called the pistil. After the flower is pollinated, it becomes a tiny pod. One bean plant often has more than 20 pods. Soybeans can have 80 pods. Inside the pods, seeds grow quickly. Warm weather can help some types of bean pods ripen in a week. Some beans grow on bushes, so that's what we have. We are growing a bush bean. The bushes are 1 to 2 feet high. Other beans grow on vines. They are called pole beans because they need a pole, fence, or string to climb. Pole bean vines can grow to be 15 feet tall. Wow, that's really tall. Beans are picked at different times. Green beans can be picked before they are fully grown. Their firm pods are about 4 inches long. The seeds inside are still small. As a bean pod gets older, its skin becomes tough. Its seeds get bigger. Lima beans are picked when the pod is green. Black turtle beans are picked when their pods are dry and brown. People do not eat the dried up pods. After picking, some beans grow new pods. The plant might produce pods several more times. People like to plant beans in a new place every 2 to 3 weeks. That way, they will have a long harvest of beans. Growers use machines called combines to harvest big fields of soybeans. The combine separates the pod from the seed. Many beans cannot survive a frost. Very wet soil can make beans rot or crack. If the weather is too hot and windy, bean pods become hard and stringy. They might even stop growing. Insects such as beetles and aphids eat beans. Deer and rabbits like bean plants too. Sometimes beans get sick with dark spots, but growers try to keep their beans healthy. Okay, you can see in this picture, this bean plant, there was some frost and it caused the leaves to turn black. Beans are a good source of iron and fiber. People like to eat crunchy snap beans raw. The pods can be cooked or steamed like vegetables too. They can even be preserved in cans or frozen. Shell beans and dry beans are mixed into salads and soups or used in other dishes. Red kidney beans are poisonous until they are soaked in water and boiled. Wow, I never knew that. Soybeans can be made into soy milk and cheese. People have grown beans for thousands of years. Long ago, beans grew wild in the Middle East. Most of the beans people eat today were first cultivated in Central America. Now people around the world grow and eat beans. Beans can be used for more than just food. Soybeans help make soap, oils, plastics, fuel, and ink. Often, products that are made from beans are better for the environment. When the bean is done producing pods, it withers and dies. The same plant will not grow again the next year. In the spring, a new bean seed will be planted. It will grow pods and make delicious beans for everyone to enjoy. And there's a picture right here at the bottom of page 28, bush green beans. This is what we're growing, is bush green beans. So once your plant gets bigger, it should look similar to that. All right, so the life cycle of a bean. A seed is planted in the ground. In 6 to 15 days, the seed germinates. The seedling grows for several weeks. So this is where we are right now with our bean plants. Our seedlings have been growing. And at 35 to 50 days, so within the next 2 weeks or so, there should be flowers. After that, the plant self-pollinates. After 7 to 20 days, the pods appear. Bean pods ripen for a week or longer. Beans are picked 50 to 100 days or more after planting. The bean plant dries up and dies. All right, I'll read the glossary terms if anyone's interested. Cultivated means planted by people, not wild. So bean plants aren't just going to pop up in your yard out of nowhere. You have to plant them. Embryo, the part of a seed that grows into a plant. Fiber, a substance found in food that keeps the digestive system healthy. Frost, a time of colder weather when ice forms and plants stop growing. Germinates, starts to grow. Harvest, a collection of crops. Insects, animals that have 6 legs and 1 or 2 pairs of wings. Livestock, farm animals such as chicken and cows. Pods, part of plants that hold seeds. Poisonous, causing death or illness. Pollen, a yellow powder made by flowers that is used to fertilize other flowers. Pollinated, fertilized, causing seeds to grow. Preserved, kept in its original state. Ripen, become ripe or ready for picking and eating. So I think the easiest example for ripen would be bananas. When bananas are green, they may not taste as good. So we have to wait for them to become ripe. The same with other plants, such as beans. Speckled, spotted with color. Wild, living on its own, not grown by people. Okay, let's see. It says take the quiz. Oh, it says it's not available. That stinks. All right, so I will make a quiz for this book on Boom Learning, and that will be available right below this read aloud. Thank you for joining me, guys.